Yeah, what's up, folks? Yeah, so today I'm going to talk about this oxygen concentrator, oxygen generator that I needed for soldering for jewelry making. Because originally, to buy oxygen in the canister is very expensive. Example, like this bottle of oxygen costs like £30. Yeah, and it doesn't last long. It get probably about an hour use from one of these. So there's a better way of using a oxygen generator, that thing that sick people use, that tube always around the nose. The problem with that, to buy one of those oxygen generator new, like the one that I have, would cost around £1,000. You can get them used on the second hand market from between 500 to £800. But anyway, what I usually do when I'm buying like expensive tools or expensive equipment, sometimes what I do, I'll search the internet to see if there's anyone selling like faulty items, faulty ones. Because usually I will buy like those faulty ones and then repair them and save a lot of money. So with the oxygen concentrator, that's what I did. So when I realized I needed one, I went online, did some search, and I found a seller who was selling a faulty one for like very cheap, £50, roughly £50. Yeah, compared to £1,000. And the main thing was he said it powered on, so it was powered on and pumping, but he said it needs servicing. That means it was faulty. Anyway, I went and collected, brought it home, and yeah, it powered on and it was pumping out some from my ear. Yeah, but the thing was, after 5 minutes, it will turn off, it will shut off, and then beep four times. And when I did some research online, the four beeps mean that the system senses high pressure. So there's high pressure building up in the system. So the circuit, the safety bit of the circuit, will shut this system down. Yeah. So anyway, I took it apart and take out all the inside and put it outside, so I could turn it on and then figure out how this system works, because I don't know nothing about oxygen generator. This is new to me. So I had to take it out and then look at it, think and analyze what's going on. Yeah, and which I did and figure out what was going on. And as I said, I did some research on this model, and then I see that there was a lot of people who had the same issue. I saw around like probably 30 people saying that yeah, they got this machine and it's doing the same thing, four beeps then shut off. The problem was I read through everything I could find and there was no solution. you know One guy said he changed the sheave, that thing that the thing inside that separates the oxygen from the other gases. That's the main thing that's inside the equipment. He said he put a brand new one in. He put a new circuit board, and what else? Something else he said he put new in there, and he still had the overpressure issue. So I'm thinking if he put a new sheave thing in, which some people were saying it was the canister thing, sheave or whatever it's called, was the issue. This guy said he put new ones in and he had the same problem. Yeah. But anyway, after analyzing it, I saw the issue. I'm gonna show what's going on. I'm gonna show the machine, take it apart, and show you how to solve the issue without buying anything else. Because to buy the main thing, the sheave or whatever it's called, it's around £300 just to buy two of them new. But this method, I figure out I can fix it just by removing a little um, cable tie. So you can fix this big issue by removing a cable tie. And I have it working. It's been pumping good oxygen. The thing is that I don't have an oxygen gauge measure thing. I don't have an oxygen measuring instrument to measure how much percent oxygen is coming outside the unit. But the unit has a oxygen sensor, which says once the light is off, once the oxygen light on the unit is off, it means it's putting out at least 90% oxygen. So before I take the unit apart, I'll demonstrate that it's pushing out good oxygen. Works very well for soldering, jewelry soldering, or anything that you need oxygen to mix with other gas to do your welding or soldering. So that's just propane going through. Then I need to turn this system on. I'm gonna turn it on. Yeah. So that's the oxygen. And it's working fine. It's generating the oxygen as it should. I don't have an issue with it. So if you're using these units for like what I'm doing, using it for like welding, soldering, I heard you can use them in glass work as well. And, you could grab one of these faulty oxygen generator, repair it, and then use it for your craft. Yeah. Yeah, so this is the unit. It's called AirSep VisionAire 5. And it's one of the smaller version. That's why I went for this one, trying to find this one faulty, because compared to others, this one is it's lighter, it's shorter, and it's more silent. Yeah, from reading from the other type. So this is a good unit to use, like, less noise, it's lighter. Yeah. So to take it apart, it's just 4 screws. You just undo these 2 screws at the front. There's 2 behind as well. You undo them, and this whole thing just slides right off. So this is the unit with the front and the rear taken off. The compressor is behind here. It's like enclosed in this soundproof compartment. That's what makes it more less noisy. So I'm gonna take this off just to show you the compressor and stuff. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about it before I tell you the solution. Yeah, so that's the compressor. Yeah. So from my understanding how this unit works, the compressor push a lot of air, compressed air, in these 2 things, and I think it does it like in order. It does it like it triggers this one, then it triggers that one, and it carry on in a rotating circle to generate the oxygen. So yeah, so it has a oxygen sensor. This is the bit that tells how much % oxygen is in the air. It's outputting, I guess. And then you have a pressure sensor. So this is the pressure sensor. This is the bit that's the issue. Not the sensor is the issue, but this is what triggers it, and it shuts off after around 5 minutes. So I think the sensors start to function after 5 minutes of use. So it will run fine, and after 5 minutes it senses that the pressure is too high or too low, because it has a low sensor as well. If it's too low, it beeps, make a lot of beeping sound. But if it's too high, it boom, shuts off. Yeah. So after I go through this unit, I haven't seen any pressure regulator. Yeah. The only thing that I saw was the motor has some form of regulator thing here. Hold on. Like that. The motor, the compressor, has like a little regulator thing there, which basically when the pressure builds up like to a large amount, it will let out through here. But that's not the problem, because also when the pressure builds up, you can hear the compressor working very hard. It's like it has a lot of resistance fighting before. So I'm thinking it shouldn't build up that much. The only other theory I'm thinking when people were saying that it's these things is the issue, the sheave or whatever. Yeah. The only thing I'm thinking, maybe when they're built, it has some form of regulator inside, like the elements, the chemicals or whatever is inside there, put a bit of resistance in the air. Yeah. And over time, that resistance, maybe the thing deteriorates, so the resistance is gone. And that's what causes the issue. But as I said, someone said they put new ones in and it was the same issue. My other theory is, and which I probably believe, maybe the compressor itself over time start to build up more pressure. You know, maybe originally it's designed to output a small amount of pressure, then over time it just by itself outputting more pressure, more air, and that's caused the issue. I don't know, but yeah. So to solve it, basically, because it's building up a lot of pressure, you need to let out some other pressure. Yeah, so it doesn't build up so much. And after when I inspect the unit, after that, because I took everything out, took them all out, had it outside the case, so I could power it on and see it operating to have an idea of how it works and what's going on. Because these are just switches, basically switches that switches on if the air should go that way, and then shuts off, go that way, shuts off. You know what I mean? These are just solenoid switches. And these are just some one-way valve where the air can just go in one direction, and if it tries to go the other direction, it will shut off. But I says I don't see no regulator in here. Like system, I'm guessing system like these that deals with pressure and stuff should have like a regulator where you can tune it, or you know. But this has nothing like that. So if pressure does start to build up, boom, it will shut off. And a lot of people has this issue. And what I need to point out as well, this unit only has 689 hours. So basically from new, it's only been running 689 hours. That's around a month, around 1 month use. No way for an expensive system like this should last for just a month. It's been designed, from what I read, to last like a lifetime. You know what I mean? You don't have to service it. It's one of them ones where you don't need to service it or anything like that. But yeah, so one person was saying that the issue usually happens when you're not using it. So for instance, you buy it, use it for a bit, then put it down, let it sit for a year or two, not using it. Then when you power it on, you will get that high pressure issue. So anyway, the solution is, when I took this out, I can't show you the other side because it's hidden by wires and stuff. But on which side is it? Oh yeah, this side. So on both sides at the front. So let me check this camera. So yeah, at the front of this valve rail thing, and both sides there's a little nipple, and each nipple there's a little tube. One of these ear tube connects to it. And at the end of each tube, there's a cable tie. They just put a little cable. They fold the tube and put a little cable tie to stop the air from exiting. So this is the input. So where the air comes from the compressor, this is basically the input of the valve section, and this is the output. So the output is where the nitrogen and the air that you don't need get pushed out, exhaust through the output down inside there, and this is the input. So that's where the pressure issue is. So the theory was to be able to regulate the air here. So as I says, when I check the rail, it already has these little nipples, and this is the tube. So it has two of these little tubes on either side. So both sides has one. I took the cable tie off that one. Nothing happened because that's the output. But this is the input section. So basically,
it had like a little. So basically, how it looked was it was folded like that. So it was folded like that, and it had like a little cable tie tying it to prevent the air from getting out. So all I did was remove the little cable tie, so remove it from the end, so the pressure, when it builds up a lot of pressure, it can exit through here. And it makes a lot of noise, so it makes like, gushing noise. So what I did was put a bit of sponge on the end of it to calm that gushing noise down, and then stick it back here, inside here. So when the air is gushing out, you can't really hear it that much. I'll pour it on. So I'll pour it on now. And if here you can hear the air. Yeah, that's the high pressure air building up and it's letting out. And after I'll run it for around 5 minutes. I'm gonna pause this video and run it for 5 minutes for the sensors to kick in, so I can show you the issue. Another thing what I did was I removed the beep, what I call it, the speaker thing here. That makes that beeping sound, because it makes a lot of noise. Each time you pour it on, it makes a loud beep. And when it has issues, it makes a lot of beep. So why do I just unplug this and make it silent, which is quite cool, because I'm using this for soldering jewelry. So this is not basically for human use. And that says I think it's working. It can still be used for human use, because after 5 minutes this light goes off, which means that it's outputting 90% or more oxygen. So I'm gonna let this run for around 5 minutes and then show you the issue. So alright, yeah, so this is it on for around 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes the oxygen LED light goes off, which means it's outputting 90% or more pure oxygen through here, which is good. And I'm gonna show you the issue before. So before, I said this had a little cable tie clipped around it, so I'm gonna put it back as how it was, and then you can see the issue where you will hear the compressor like working very hard, and sometimes the little regulator thing on here, you can hear it builds up so much so the pressure comes out, and then boom, system shut off. Yeah, so I'm gonna forward this little tube to show you the issue what people are having with this unit. So yeah, I'll fold it. You hear that compressor building up? It's working more. Boom. See? Shuts off. And then it has that little LED light on there, comes on. And beside that little red LED light, it says high. On the circuit board, high. So that's high pressure warning or safety measures. So, and if the pressure is too low, the LED beside it will light up. Because originally, when my first fix was basically I took this tube off the pressure sensor, yeah, and it worked. Took the tube off, took the sound off, so it was working. But the problem is the motor was working very hard, because the pressure building up is probably too much for this little compressor motor. So that wasn't a solution, and then I took the whole thing out. So after taking the whole thing out, I have it on the floor out there, and then observing how it operates and trying to understand it, I found this solution. Yeah, so as I says, this is for welding. I don't know about for if you're gonna use it for humans. I would guess you'd get one of the little instruments where you connect to here and then see how much oxygen is coming out. But for what I need it for, it's fine, and if you want to rely on the LED, you can rely on that, because it's saying 90% is coming out. Yeah, and reset it, so I power it off, power it on, then it starts to work again. The LED light is on. It takes 5 minutes for that to go out. I just want to show how this thing operates a bit. So basically, high pressure air goes in these things, goes in these cylinders, and then air comes out here. So this cylinder separates oxygen from other elements. So, and then it comes here, then it goes, I think it goes in somewhere here. But anyway, it's quite a interesting piece of machine. You know, it's quite interesting. This whole process of how they separate the oxygen. Yeah. And when I was researching these oxygen recently machines, I came to realize you even have oxygen cafes. So you have cafes where you can go, they strap one of these things up to your nostril, and you know what I mean, you inhale pure oxygen and chill. So I've got the tubes. The person who I bought this from gave me some new tubes, the bit that goes in the nostril and the nose. So yeah, I may try that, some oxygen therapy, and see how it goes, you know. So yeah, so to have this unit and it giving you that 4 beat high pressure issue, this is a quick solution. Okay, good luck. Boom.